Hey, what's up guys? It's Josh here at Porter Valley Ranch, and today's Friday, which means it's time for Farm Friday. That's right. Every Friday we're going to take you around. We're going to show you what's going on our farm. Today we're going to do some farm chores, so let's jump right in. We're gonna start today with our sheep. We raise Babydoll, Southdown, and Harlequin sheep, and I got them some corn because we actually don't feed them a lot of grain this time of year, mostly just hay and minerals, but I'm gonna give them some corn so they all come up here and you can see them. Get out of there. All right, so we gave them some corn. Like I said, we usually don't feed them a lot of grain this time of the year. Most of them have been bred and they are going into their second trimester of pregnancy. And that's kind of when you want to just hold a maintenance weight. You don't want them to gain too much weight. If they gain weight during pregnancy, it causes a lot of problems. So we want to make sure they're healthy, and then we want them to maintain that weight. Plus, corn is not a great thing to feed your animals on a consistent basis by itself. It's kind of like with people, it's not really a vegetable, it's more of just a starch. So if you're gonna feed your animals, or what we do when we feed our animals, is we wanna feed them a high quality grain, but they really like corn. If you haven't seen some of our videos about them eating the whole corn, man, they really like it. Going at it over here. So one thing you're looking for whenever you feed these animals is you want to make sure that they're all coming in. Last week I came down here and I started feeding everybody, and I noticed that there was one standing off, wasn't interested in coming into the feed. She was just by herself, she was isolated, and that usually is a sign of sickness, illness, or parasite, something like that. So whenever you feed them, a couple times a week we come out here and feed them, and just to make sure they all come around, make sure they have a lot of life in them, make sure they're, got some pep in their step. And it looks like everybody's here. Looks like everybody's doing good. All right, let's head on down here and see what the Ibex are doing. So you're not supposed to feed animals on the ground because you can see like this ground right here has a lot of goat manure and stuff on it. But with these Ibex, I like to feed them up here on these rocks. Their natural habitat is in the mountains, so put them up there on the rocks and they can kind of navigate it, forage a little bit for it. Of course, they're down here on this cliff, so they can go off in those woods and those trees and find all the acorns and leaves and grass and stuff like that. But they seem a little bit happier if you treat them like they are in nature. So we put it on the rocks and they can eat it. This is Lola. She's got a big belly. I never saw them breed, so I'm not sure when they'll be having babies, but I'm watching their udders to see when they start bagging up. They'll usually start bagging up about 2 or 3 weeks before they have babies. Also, we're a couple weeks away from I'll have to catch them, start giving them some medication. We give them a multi-shot called Covexin. It has tetanus and something that prevents overeating disease and things like that. So when I catch them, I'll do a technique called blocking, which is where you feel their stomach and you're feeling inside of there to see if there's any structure, which would be a baby or babies. But I can't catch them right here in the open. They'll get close enough to eat, but not close enough to catch. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Rosie. see Isaac. I mean, he just jumped off of a 6-foot drop like it was nothing. These animals are crazy athletic. All right, so that is the majority of our sheep and our Ibex over here. Daisy's off in the woods. And so I'm gonna go up to the top barn. I've got a couple sheep I've got one that was sick last week, and then I've got 2 that I'm trying to gain some weight on. They've had either an infection or parasites. I can't really tell. I've taken their temperature seems normal, but they've also been wormed a couple times recently, and it just doesn't seem to change the fact that they're not gaining weight. So I've got them pinned up so I can feed them separately. I'm feeding them extra, hopefully to put some weight on, because again, if they are pregnant, you don't want them to be too fat, but you also don't want them to be too thin. They need some extra body weight for margin once they start nursing, or you and the baby could be in trouble. All right, so there's some over there. Let's see what that does. Okay, so these are our Silkies and our Ayam Cemanis. You can tell here I've got 3 Ayam Cemani hens, and when the sun hits them just right, they've kind of got a little bit of a greenish sheen. It looks pretty cool. But I'm going to show you some juvenile Ayam Cemanis here in a second. When we go down to the house, I've got to sort out some chickens. Also, that golden orbs. Okay, so up here on the barn, I've got 3 ewes. I've got this Babydoll, and this Harlequin. So all 3 of them have just been having trouble putting on weight. We've had 2 of them for a long time. One of them is about 2 months on our farm, and they're just perpetually skinny. So I put them in here. I've been feeding them really clean, good quality hay, and then also feeding them grain every day. And then 2 of them are on their last round of antibiotics. The other one over here named Lucy, I don't know what her deal is. She's one of the friendliest sheep that we have. She is just really skinny. She had a really good baby last year, and it's like she never fully recovered from getting drawn down. So when they have lambs and those lambs are nursing, it's pretty natural for them to lose some weight, to get drawn down. She just never gained weight again. And she actually wasn't even that healthy before she had the lamb. She's just perpetually skinny, which I'm not gonna body shame her, but also I would like for her to gain some weight going into lambing season so that she just has a better time. Now, since I am feeding them for a specific purpose, which is to gain weight, I'm actually gonna mix the corn with some of our just rye grain that I've been feeding them anyways. This is pretty high in protein, about 20%. So I'm gonna mix it with this corn and feed them that. Okay, so rather than putting this in a bucket where they'll probably eat it too fast, sheep are known for eating their food way too fast. I put some fresh hay down here, and I'm gonna put the grain on this hay. Since there's only 3 of them, you know, they're not fighting for the food, so they would eat it too fast. So I'm gonna put it on this hay. They kind of have to dig through to get it, and it just slows them down a little bit when they're eating. This girl here is going to need 1 more round of antibiotics. Giving her LA 200, which they do not like. Kind of burns. If you give it to a younger animal, a lot of times they'll just act like they're having a seizure. They fall down and go crazy. Okay, All right, up here in the birthing suite, that's what we call this pen, by the way, because it's out of the wind, and the light seems to be a little better because it kind of gets filtered through the panels up here. We originally built this, it was going to be like a greenhouse room for Rachel's garden, and then we got a small greenhouse, and we needed this room for the sheep to have their lambs in. So it's no longer a greenhouse, but it has a clear roof, which is going to need to change this summer because it gets really hot, but that's beside the point. So on last week's video, I told you guys about why we homestead. And I told you that this week we were going to talk about why I sometimes wish we didn't. We'll get back to animals here in just a second, I promise, but first I got to take care of two things. Number one, I promised that there would be a winner from last week's video. So I'm going to take a look at the comments, and since this is our third video for Farm Fridays here in 2023, we're going to take a look and we are going to see who was the third person to comment on this video. So there is last week's Farm Friday video. It's called Homesteading, Why We Do It. We were talking about being on the Homestead documentary, which if you haven't seen, you do need to go check out. You can see that in the description below. Go look at that, see if it's something you would be wanting to purchase. It's only $39.99 for a limited time, and it's a great product. So make sure and check that out. But we talked about why we did it, and we asked you to comment. And number 3 is Kim from Minnesota. At least I'm guessing that's what MN means, unless it means something else. But Kim from Minnesota has been a long time subscriber of our channel. She always is great with interacting and commenting on our videos. So send me an email at portervalleyranch@gmail.com. Tell me your mailing address and we will send you out a Porter Valley Ranch hat. Congratulations to Kim, and thank you so much for being a long-time subscriber and supporter of our channel. We really value whenever you guys watch our channel, but also when you comment and like and subscribe and share and all those things. It helps us out in the algorithm, and if you don't know about the algorithm on the YouTube, it's what decides who gets seen by who. We put a lot of work into this stuff, and we would love for more people to see our content. So when you like, when you subscribe, when you comment, it helps us in the algorithm. So to reward you for that, we're going to give away another hat. If you want to be in the running for that hat, I need you to comment on this video, tell us where you're watching from and how long you've been watching Porter Valley Ranch, and next week we will draw another winner and send out another hat. So comment now, subscribe if you haven't. Let's continue with the video. All right, as we head back down the hill, I told you guys I would tell you why I sometimes wish we didn't homestead. And when I say homestead, homesteading is like a generalized term for running a hobby farm or having a off-grid lifestyle. It's kind of a big umbrella. So for us, homesteading means that at our house, we have animals, we have a garden, we have things in order for us to be sustainable for ourselves. So, and we're not really preppers. We're not off grid by any means, but if things got really bad, say there was another pandemic or some sort of a shutdown, food shortage, all those things that are kind of hot button topics right now, we would be able to provide for ourselves. We have chickens, which lay eggs and also have meat. We have sheep, which we usually don't eat because they are rare, exotic, and expensive. But if we needed to, we could butcher one of them. Same thing with our goats. We don't usually milk our Ibex, but we could if we needed milk. We also have a garden. We also have 17 acres with fresh water sources and things like that. So homesteading to me means that we do things in the farm lifestyle, but also we could be self-sustainable if we needed to be, or if we wanted to be. So last week I told you why we do that. And as far as some of the reasons why I sometimes wish we didn't, it's because it's hard. We have to wake up, we go and we feed animals. We have to do things, we have to move heavy things. We have to sometimes manhandle the animals that don't want to be manhandled. It is physically hard. It's hard work. It creates opportunities for our family to work together, but it also steals some of our downtime. So if you are wanting to be kind of a lazy, sedentary person, then owning a farm probably isn't for you, because it takes away the majority of that time. At least it does for our family. The kids always kind of get frustrated, but they enjoy it, I think. I don't know if they do or not. But like, we do a lot of stuff. We do a lot of stuff together. On an open Saturday, we're gonna go and we're gonna build a fence, or we're going to dig a ditch, or we're going to clean a barn or something like that. So it takes that downtime, that screen time that kids crave so much, and it just takes it away. So that could be a positive or a negative, depending on how you look at it. The other thing is that it's hard emotionally. We lose animals. We raise ruminant animals, and unfortunately sheep and goats are somewhat fragile, and they don't show many signs of illness. So by the time you catch them, a lot of times it's too late. And we have lost our fair share of animals, which, although they are livestock and they are part of a business plan for us, they are also pets, especially the young ones, the bottle babies. They're very fragile, and we have lost those, and it's been hard for our family. The third reason that I would say homesteading is hard, and I sometimes wish that we didn't do it, is because it's a mess. It takes your house and there's just clutter everywhere. Like, I'm looking right now, there are some weed eaters, there are, feed buckets, there are things everywhere. And yes, we could do a better job of cleaning those things up, but it takes away the ability to have this perfect manicured home, because you just need things. You need equipment. And when you need equipment, it has to sit somewhere, and a field full of equipment to some people looks like junk, and then to some people it looks like a way to make money, and to some people it looks like it's worth a lot of money, and to me it just looks like clutter. And that's what it is. Owning a farm creates clutter. There are times when we have plants growing on our kitchen table. There are times when we have chicks incubating in our laundry room. We have chicks in our pantry. We have chicks in our kitchen. We have chicks in our garage. We have chickens everywhere, basically, because we're trying to grow a lot of chickens right now. But like, it just takes your house and it creates clutter. So one of the main things that I am on a mission to do this year is to control that clutter and at least keep it in one confined area, which is tough. It's hard. But those are the three reasons that I sometimes wish we didn't homestead. Now, none of those reasons are enough to make us stop, because we think that the benefits greatly outweigh the downsides. All right, the last thing we're doing today is we are sorting chickens. So we've got these little guys, and you can tell this is disgusting. So I put them in here. They hatched about a week and a half ago. I put them in here. I meant for it to just be in there for a couple days, and then we got crazy busy and I neglected them. So I'm gonna transfer them to a clean brooder. This is a brooder tub, by the way. It's a nice storage tote. We put this on top. If you need to make some of these, they will really help your life out. You can stack them up and you can see in there, and they're tough and durable. And we did a video, we'll put the link to it up here, but these are awesome. So I highly suggest making some of these for your chicks if you hatch a lot of chicks. These are kind of the next age. So we're gonna move them into a fresh enclosure also. And then I've got a couple that are ready to go outside in here. These are all Ayam Cemanis. So we're gonna take them, we're gonna put them out in the chicken barn and swap the chicken barn chickens out. And I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay, so these are some of our little grow out chickens, and we've got some Ayam Cemanis and some black Silkies. You can tell right here that this one is a Silkie because number one, it has feathered feet, and two, it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toes. So if they have 5 toes and they have feathered feet, then it is going to grow out to be either a Silkie or a satin. Let's check this little guy. So same thing here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Silky, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this one doesn't have feathered feet, and it only has 1, 2, 3, 4 toes. So this one is gonna grow out and be an Ayam Cemani. It's kind of hard to tell when they're little because they're all kind of fuzzy, and then once they start getting feathered, but these Ayam Cemanis are solid black. So if you open their mouth up and look at their tongue, it should be solid black. And then they also have black bones and black meat, black organs, all that kind of stuff. All right, so it's been a busy day. You know it's been a long farm day when you go through 3 GoPro batteries, which I did today. I moved these Silkies. These are actually solid black Silkies that I got off of eBay. Hatching eggs off eBay. They're supposed to be show quality Silkies. They all have 5 toes and they're growing out nicely. So we'll have to let them keep growing to see if they are roosters or hens. But I've moved them up here, which is the top part of this coop. That way they can acclimate to the weather because they've been in the garage. They're off a heat lamp, but they're still not outside yet. So we'll leave them in here for about 2 weeks, let them get used to the weather, and then we'll move them down. Now housing these 3 Ayam Cemani grow outs. Hopefully one of them is a rooster, which I'm guessing that bigger one is going to be. I got these also off of eBay. They were off of the line of Greenfire Farms, which is supposed to be some of the purest Ayam Cemanis in the United States. They're still growing, so hopefully they keep doing well. And then over in this pen, got a bunch of roosters, which are all gonna be named Chicken Nugget. So I don't need any of them, even though some of them are pretty cool. They all have some sort of genetic flaw that we do not want passed down. So they will be dinner one day this week. All right, that's all I've got for you guys. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment down below so we can pick a winner for next week's hat. Congratulations to Kim. Make sure and email us your address so we can send that your way. We'll see you guys next time here at Border Valley Ranch.